Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we want to discuss short-term trading strategies versus long-term trading strategies in binary options. And so, I guess one of the questions is which one works better? Uh, should I be a short-term binary options trader or a long-term binary options trader? And what I want to do, I want to cover some strategies with the short-term trading that has worked for me, and then want to discuss some long-term strategies. Kind of get an idea of where you should start. Should you use one over the other, or maybe a combination of two? So we'll discuss that a little bit. And this is some, these are some trades that was posted today. In my demo account here, and you can see it's like 90% of the trades hit right on, and I want to explain a little bit why that is, and why that happened. And basically, it has to do with we discussed that in some of the earlier videos when we trade uh, options this short term. These are like 2-minute options. Um, when we trade this short term, very little data can be uh, gathered that's going to allow us to be able to really make an informed trading decision. So in that regard, it starts to get closer to gambling, and that's something that we don't want this to become. We want to take this as a serious business, and whereas um, minute options aren't something that I would want uh, a serious binary options trader to stay with, for the career of his trading. I can see the necessity of it on smaller accounts, especially starting out when you need to be aggressive and you want to build your account up, over a more rapid period of time. And so it can work, but let's go over some of the things we need to know about it, some of the things we need to avoid, and how, if we have a much smaller balanced account, some ways we can grow it a little faster, and then we'll compare that, or contrast that against long-term, trading, and the differences and which one may work better for your particular individual situation. But if, as you can see on this short-term trading strategy here on the Marcus World system, um, you see that I'm just only trading with one currency pair, and that's the pound yen. And there's a reason for that. And that the reason is the pound yen is one of the currency pairs that gets the most pip movements through the day. So it has a lot more volatility. It moves a lot during the trading session, and that's very important because what can very much cripple you in binary options trading is currency pairs that don't move enough and create profit margin between the spread. So we need these currencies moving. We don't need them to get stuck in one direction or not move at all. Which is called like a sideways market. So we need movement. Doesn't matter if it's up or down. We just need it to move. And the pound yen, it does that well. And so in minute options trading, because we don't really have the ability to apply our research properly, we got to depend more on probability, movement, patterns, and things like that. So we need this thing moving enough in an upwards direction or downwards direction so we can kind of get that pattern and trade accordingly. So that with this is also creating more chaos. Chaos is a good thing for our trading strategy, because in the Marcus World platform, because you can place trades up to $1, as low as $1, you can take many positions if you lose on a trade. And by the time you've spent $50, you've had to lose like 5 times in a row to lose any money. So that works very well for us in order to, if we make a mistake, we don't catch the first trade or the second trade or the third trade or the fourth trade or the fifth trade or whatever the case may be. We keep these trades in a string when we're doing minute options, with the strategy I found that works best. Otherwise, if you're doing minute options and you don't have a strategy like that and you can't really do research, then you're dependent a lot on technical analysis, and that can be a tough thing. That can be a tough thing to depend on. So we need some, fail safes and some backups to kind of help us to get it right. So as you can see here, what happened, I only missed one trade in this lineup, but when I missed it, if you look at the trade I missed, you see I went to $2 and then I won on that second one. And I'm not going to go over the, how you find what direction to trade in. If this is your first time to the channel and watching these type videos, I would recommend watching my video on when to enter and when to exit the market. And that will give you a pretty good idea how we pick the currency pairs, when we enter a trade and when we exit it. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for, on the short-term trading, we want that currency pair that's just going crazy, creating that chaos, because the last thing we want is our trades to be consecutively, us losing trades consecutively in a row. It's a little bit different when we're winning in a row, combining probability and chaos, into the formula, because we are using, instruments to basically tell us where the market should be. So there is some, analysis being done. It's not like it's not like a traditional martingale type situation where you're just going, double up for no reason. There are indicators letting us know we should be going in this direction, but the fail safe is, if it's wrong or we're off for whatever reason, that this will kind of come in there and save our butts in the end. So we're using this with minute options. If done properly and if done in a calculated risk mentality, it can work out. As it did today. So let's get a little bit more into that strategy, and then we'll compare how it works in the long term, versus the short term, which one may be better to use, and we'll go over that. But let's look at how much currency pairs on average move during the day, and how we were able to determine where we need to be. So if you look here, and as you see, got 3 market trading sessions that are open here, and I recommend trading in about 5. You get 2 times the markets, they overlap. There are 2 additional overlaps where you get markets where they overlap together, and then one is just opening, during the convening of another, and then you'll get a lot of movement as, different trading sessions are opening, simultaneously with other markets. So that activity is what you need, and the activity is what creates the profits. But if we look down this chart, and we can look across 3 trading sessions here, New York, Tokyo, and London. If we go down here to the pound yen currency pair, you see that in New York it's at 132 pip movement during that trading session. Then in Tokyo it's at 118, and then in London it's 151. So the thing is, notice in comparison to the other currency pairs, the pound yen numbers are a lot higher, which means it's moving all over the place a lot better, and that's good for our situation, because it's giving us a better opportunity to predict what direction it's going to move in, and it's also creating a lot of chaos because it's going up and down, and that movement is great because that chaos is going to keep us hopefully from having a situation where we're consecutively missing in a row. We don't we don't need to consecutively win in a row to win the trade overall using this strategy. So that's the good thing about that, and that's why we need a lot of movement. And then you can also see what currency pairs are a bit more stable. Let's also look at some of the more, well, I'll save that for the long-term trading comparison. So we kind of got an idea of how that works. Let's look at as well. Let's look at some examples of the minute option trading strategy that we use, and you know, how it can be very profitable in a short period of time, and why it's hard to lose in this strategy. And let me get to my notepad here, and we will look at that strategy. Okay, all right, it's right there. Okay, so as you can see, on a balance of $325, you know, as we discussed that when we get to a certain balance that we want to trade with, because why I like the Marcus World platform is you only need to deposit $10 in. So, you know, I recommend that if you want to trade binary options after you traded your demo account several times, go ahead, deposit $10, start trading, because what that's going to do, that's going to give you, you know, put you in the mentality of what happens when you start trading with real money. And that psychological effect, you know, is very important to grasp and have. And then if you lose $10 doing it, hey, you know, you've only lost $10, which is a heck of a lot better than losing $250 or $1,000 or $5,000, which a lot of binary option traders have done because they've been forced to come into other trader platforms with large initial deposits. The money is there available. Now they can take that additional funds and they can use it to further trade as they further spiral down the rabbit hole, or, you know, fall into the bottomless pit and bankrupt their account. So with Marcus World, you only need $10. So you know, if you can't deposit $10, you binary options trading is not for you. But anyway, guys, this is using a balance of $325, and this is what we mean by 7 positions. I like using 8 positions, but 7 positions, you know, I think is pretty reasonable. And if you lose 7 trades in a row losing this system, that pretty much means the system's not going to work. Also, be sure to watch my other videos that discuss passive income streams, where you can pretty much make money like this doing nothing but you know, doing no work, just, you know, doing nothing, and you'll have money like that coming in that you can trade. And then if you lose it, you're just losing something off of your passive income stream that doesn't affect your pocketbook directly. So that's something to look into on my other videos that can be helpful. But let's look at this. Let's focus on this strategy right now. So what happens is, using that strategy I showed on the Marcus World platform with the pound over the yen, if you lose at $1, you go to 2. If you lose at 2, you go to 5. If you lose at 5, you go to 12. If you lose at $12, you go to 30. If you lose at $30, you go to $75. And if you lose at $75, you go to $200. And that equals up to $325. Now, be mindful and remember that you will only trade the pound over the yen, because as we discussed it, it's going to be moving around a lot, and that's going to create a lot of chaos, and it's going to make it even more difficult to make it so that you will consecutively lose every trade in a row, as well as combined with the research or the very little research we can accumulate, you know, over minute options. And again, you know, on my other videos, it explains how you can go to investing.com. And if you know, if you've been watching the channel consistently, you probably already know some of these things, but this is important to understand pip movement and the pound over the yen, and why we need to stick with the pound over the yen. In earlier videos, I did use a more diversified approach, where you know, because sometimes what will happen, you'll have unpredictability in a currency pair, and you might stay on that currency pair and indicators just can't get it down for that day, what it's going to do, what direction it's going to, be in. And that happens sometimes. And then you can end up sticking to one currency pair and you'll have that problem. But what's unique about the pound yen situation is because the movement is so big, the pip movement is such a chaotic currency. That's going to be very good in our probability model, so that we don't get these perfect wins and losses in a row, because we want it to be inconsistency in our wins and losses, because, then that way we can win that way, based on our model. Because, what will happen if you lose at $1, you'll come in at $2, and then that $2 will cover the dollar you've lost, plus give you a profit over that. So that's how that works. And that's how come in a short-term trading situation, there are some advantages to that. And, as we go back here to the trading platform real quick, we can see what our profits, are looking like when we're using this models, and we can see how we can gain a large number of profits over a very short period of time. Uh, and that's going to be very, very important as well. What we need to keep in mind here is every trade that was placed here was done over a 2-minute period. So, when you're trading, that means that, there's like 10 trades, so that's like over 20 minutes that money was made. And you can use any trading amount you're comfortable with, but I say in the beginning, take advantage of the low wagers, because the low wagers are giving you this opportunity to miss so many trades in a row that it becomes very, very difficult to lose. And I'm not saying that you can't lose. Of course you can lose, but this is a great way to win consistently yet minimize loss. Um, you know, as well as something I missed over in the notepad section for short-term trading that I want to go over on. Let me just cut back over there. This was very interesting, and this is something that is unique to Marcus World over maybe like the Nadex system, which I praised a lot, and I still do. And ultimately, we want to end up on the Nadex system. But I tell everybody who does binary options and who follows, for various reasons, that I wouldn't want to trade on Nadex until I had about $2,500, because Nadex is dealing with contracts, which is a little bit more, complicated than just this type of option trading. But if you look down here at the bottom of my notes here, you see that every time you trade $500 on the Market World system, they give you $10 back into your account. That you can do whatever you want with it. You can withdraw it, and you can, take it home, or you can reinvest it into your trading balance. I would recommend that you withdraw it, take the money out, maybe put it in a mutual fund or something like that, or put it on your, put it towards your long-term savings. But if we look down here, if we do $500 worth of trades per day, we got about a 6-day trading week on the Marcus World platform. That will equal out to $240 per month. And $500 in trades per day, it might sound like a lot, but believe it or not, that's a lot easier to do than you might think, especially using a system like this where you keep wagering up. If you just think about, if you went out 7 positions like only 2 times, you'd already almost be at that amount. Now, and it does add up pretty quick. So that's just something interesting to note. Something some bonuses on the Marcus World system, and they do pay. And Marcus World is pretty reputable. They do a really good job. For the type of binary option broker they're designed to be, I think they do an excellent job. I think they're probably definitely one of the best, in the top 5 out of the ones out there, that exist, today. But anyway, that's just something I want to add. Another advantage to short-term trading options on platforms such as this. Now, you can do short-term trading on Nadex as well. I'm not a big fan of that. I see some people do like 5-minute options on the Nadex. I don't like that because Nadex contracts are so expensive. Nadex contracts, you're going to be paying at least about $50 per contract. And I just want to, be clear about what this channel is about, because I know some traders look at this and say, oh, this is this really small cash. This looks like, piggy bank money, and I don't want to trade this way. But this channel is about making binary options trading available to pretty much accessible to everyone. A lot of times when we talk about investment and trading, a lot of people count themselves out because they don't feel they have the money to invest. The average American has less than $2,000 in savings in the bank, so it's not going to be very realistic to have this type of information accessible to only a certain group of people and a certain amount of people. So what we try to do in this channel, we try to make it accessible to anyone who watches it, that, hey, this is something I can try or do. And later I will do a video that talks, about who should be trading binary options. From the, from corp trading, people who use binary options trading, to maybe the guy who works at McDonald's who wants to do binary options trading. And so we're going to discuss, things like, who should be doing that, and how you should consider your financial tolerance, and if you should be doing it at all, because there are situations where people shouldn't. It's a lot of situations where people shouldn't even be doing it at all, and they should have a certain mindset if they should do it or not. So we'll cover that. But now let's compare what we've learned a bit about this strategy and minute trading on binary options, or very, very short term trading, as opposed to like longer term binary option trading options and things like that. So let's go back here and open up the page, and let's just take this short term example. Where we were looking for these highly volatile currency pairs that can make us create profits quicker, and we take advantage of these short-term options. So in that very little window of a minute or 2 minutes or whatever you're trading, you got a lot of movement, because you then have the opportunity to try to hit your strike price and make some money back. Now, if you got a real stable currency pair and you're only trading out 1 to 2 minutes, that could make it very hard for you to get movement in the direction you need in the time frame that you have specified. So what we want to do here is now swap it a bit and see, do this with a longer term option, and then we can discuss some of the pros to the pros and cons, on both, versus each other. So with long-term trading, it's going to be a lot different, because in long-term trading, the last thing you want is highly volatile currency pairs, because it's going to be very difficult to determine where the price will be next week, because it's going to be moving up and down, and by the time your option is about to expire, you may not be able to really hit your strike price and things like that. So with long-term trading, I recommend a strategy that's going to deal with a lot more predictable currency pairs. These are going to probably be very stable. They're probably not going to jump around a lot. Their pips are going to probably be a lot less than, the pound yen combination. And we're going to look at some options like that are, the most predictable, and the ones you want to use with this long-term trading strategy. So, predictable pairs are on average here, and we kind of see some of the ones that we probably, if we've been trading already, would expect to make this list. You got the Australian dollar, uh, pound, U.S. dollar combination. You got the U.S. dollar combination. You got the U.S. Canadian dollar combination, and you got the Euro U.S. dollar combination here. And very stable, currency pairs. I myself, long term, I like to pick the pound, and I usually pick the pound and the euro. But the euro, hasn't worked out well for me, in the past and things like that. So I think, I'll probably be switching to maybe like the pound and the Australian dollar. I have had, some success, with those. So you're kind of doing the opposite with the long term, trading. And this will give you more, opportunity to, more stability. So if you get a move going in one direction, hopefully it'll gradually move in that direction and, won't, be going all crazy on you. But, that's what you get with long-term trading. And of course, advantages to long-term trading is the stability, is the fact that, you got a lot of time to, get your movement in your direction. You got a lot more time for your research to pan out and for that research to take effect, and things like that, things you won't get in the short-term trading situation. So overall, which one is the best? So I'm gonna say it's gonna depend on your current situation and your present situation. If you're an aggressive trader, if you have a very low balanced account, um, and you want to grow your account more rapidly, for whatever reason, you just can't put in, the time or things like that, then, you might want to a short-term trading approach with the minutes and things like that. Um, in conjunction with, some system like the one I've shown you there, because as we can see with the Marcus World platform, you're going to get a lot of, you're going to be able to make a lot of trades. You're going to be able to, double up on a lot of trades and, hit a lot of trades and things like that. And you can just go trade after trade after trade because, you're going to have to miss so many consecutively in a row, in order to lose your investment. And so it's going to depend on that. Whereas if you've had some moderate success with binary options trading, you don't have to be as aggressive. You can use the long-term trading strategy that will be best for you. It's the one I would like best, but I understand that if we're trying to make binary options trading accessible to everyone, it's unreasonable to think that people are going to be able to come in with thousands of dollars to invest, and just on this with the tremendous amount of risks, that are attached to binary options trading. Because at the end of the day, whatever you come in with, you can lose every dime of it, or just about every dime of it. Even early, like in the Nadex system, you can still lose over 50-70% of your investment, which is pretty much all of it. So, even though other platforms in that regard may be a bit safer, being able to make a $10 deposit, I will take that as safer over any other trading platform. So I still support Marcus World in that regard, to have people, able to come in with smaller amounts of money and, not risk, potentially large sums of money they can't afford, even if that be $250. But again, I will do a video about who should be trading binary options, from corporations to just the individual average Joe. And so, in conclusion, I will just say that it's going to depend on you. If you fall under that, I got a very small account, but I want to grow it rapidly, short term is probably going to work for you. If you fall under that, I want stability. I don't want to, be losing money. I can't afford to lose money like that. I want to grow my account steadily over time, then long term. If somewhere in the middle, then maybe a combination of the two. Watch some of my videos that tell you a bit how to do that. But anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much conclude the video. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them. I enjoy answering your questions. And like many of you, I'm searching for the best trading strategy as well. I don't have a crystal ball into the market. I can't promise you that I'll make you thousands or millions of dollars, but I can share with you some information that has worked for me, and I can, try to make this accessible to people who didn't think it was accessible to them to trade, investments and things like that because they just, can't do it. This system allows you to trade for $10. And maybe you can turn that $10 to $50 or $100. You never know until you try. But guys, thanks for watching. Be sure and like, subscribe. And until next time, take care.